Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Tuesday, the 27th day of the month of May, 2025, Tuesday of the 6th week of Easter, the 38th day of the Easter season. Again, we are here in Assisi still doing our little routine here. This is behind me the Church of the Chiesa Nuova, built, it's new church, but it was new in 1500, so built upon what is reported to be the home of Francis. Down this way over here is the remnants of what was the cloth factory, the cloth merchant shop that his father Pietro owned. And the most interesting thing here is right behind me there is the statue of Francis's parents, which again was brought in 1984 into this square over here by the church. Again, always the question of how did Francis relate to his parents, both before and after his conversion, and as he began the order. So with all that in mind, Tuesday of the 6th week of Easter, Acts of the Apostles. Yesterday we had Lydia becoming part of the Christian movement. Today it is a guard who is watching Paul and now Silas, because Paul has separated himself from Barnabas because they've gone their other directions because of a fight that they had or something like that. And so Paul and Silas are out there doing some ministry and evangelization, but they run afoul again of people who try to stone them and want to get rid of them and throw them into prison. And during the time of their imprisonment, a earthquake happens which destroys not only the prison cell but frees them of the chains that they were bound with. And the prison guard, because he thinks that they have escaped, is going to kill himself again. So this whole idea about how the ancient juridical systems worked was a little bit bizarre, because again the guard should not be responsible for the earthquake and perhaps what happened, but he would end up being, and he would have had to have killed himself. He's about able to do that, but then Paul and Silas says, no, don't do that, we're still here, we didn't run away. Well, the guard now then because he's so overjoyed with this, takes Paul and Silas to his home, bathes their wounds and things like that, and then basically becomes a believer also. Again, the way in which through these acts of kindness and generosity, through not being afraid to trust again that these people who represent a new way of living in this world would not do anything to hurt another person. That creates another way for evangelization, of change of mind and heart. Again, for us to act in ways that are not, typical of this world is what we are called to as believers, to be people who don't necessarily respond to the way the rest of the world does. And what gives us the strength to do that, again, is resurrection, is knowing that it is our God who wins. Even though everything else seems to work against us, it seems to work against God, it doesn't. God wins in the end, and because of that victory, we are capable perhaps of much more than we can imagine ourselves accomplishing. In John's Gospel today, again, Jesus basically says, I told you I'm going to be leaving you, but nobody has said to me, where are you going? Which is kind of an interesting sort of question. Nobody does. They're all just grieving because, oh my God, he's going away. But again, Jesus emphasizes, for me to go away, allows the Holy Spirit to come. And what the Holy Spirit has to do is basically, maintain the fact that those who listen to my voice, will achieve more than they can ever imagine. That those who listen to my voice, will rise, and in the estimations of this world, or beyond the estimations of this world, that those who listen to my voice are going to embrace a future, a destiny, and a hope that the world can never give it. Those who do not, and Jesus goes on, will be condemned because they listen basically to this world, which pretends to have the best understandings and the best nuances, for our human life, but in the end it doesn't. Again, Jesus will liken this, to a presence of evil and what have you, But the idea is that sometimes, again, our own culture and our own selves try to create, a way of living in this world that we think is going to work, and it seems to on paper, but in reality it fails always. The only way that works, is believing and trusting in this God who loves us, this God who cares about us, this God who will never let anything defeat the purposes this God has set out, not only for creation, but most importantly for us. So from Assisi, a continued blessed Easter, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord give you his peace.